Hey folks, Eric Bray, Focus Fishing Guide Service. Got another video fishing report for you for Table Rock Lake. It is Tuesday, May the 9th. Water is finally coming down. They have started to drop the water down. Fishing's been good. I mean, we've been, even with the high water, been catching a lot of fish. They have moved since last week. I know I had a few people call me and say, hey, I'm fishing right up on the grass and not getting bit. You guys got to remember, when they start drawing the water, those fish are going to move off of the bank and they're going to head towards that old bank line. That's where we've been catching most of them all over the lake. It's on that old bank line. So right now we're at 9:30, so you want to be at about 15 feet deep. That's where most of the bites are coming from, so remember that. But anyway, as far as the lake level is concerned, we're at 930.32, so just a little bit over 15 feet high. And they are drawing it down. It seems like it's falling about 4 to 6 inches a day, so they're doing a pretty good job of bringing it down. They probably are going to shut the gates off here pretty soon because Bull Shoals is starting to get filled up, and they really can't move the water much further down the line from Bull Shoals just because of all the flooding in the Mississippi. So I would anticipate it staying high at least in the 925 to 928 range for a while. But it is, like I said, about 15 feet high. Fish are biting though. Water temperature is kind of an interesting story. It was quite a bit colder last week. We were seeing 59, 60, about 62. Even in the dirty water late in the day, it just wasn't warming up that much. Had all of those colder nights. Well, now we're up back where we should be. We're up around 68, 69 first thing in the morning. I'm in the mid-lake area today, and when I got off the water it was 72, so it has warmed up quite a bit. This dirty water is warming up quite a bit with these 80-degree days, full sun. It's definitely warming up. It's a little bit cooler down by the dam, but it's definitely warming up here in the mid-lake. But if you guys are coming down, say you're going to fish the lower end of the lake, several bites going on. That's about the only area of the lake that's got clear water, with the exception of way up the White. And the clear water is really from about 86 to about 0.5. It's definitely clear. You've got 8 to 10 feet of visibility down there. So you've got a couple of bites going on down there that aren't happening on the rest of the lake. First and foremost, our best bite right now is definitely on a shaky head, a jewel squirrel head, matching that up with a Zoom speed craw or a UV beaver or a finesse worm, whatever you like to match it up with. I've been doing best with the speed craw and catching a lot of fish, like I said, in that 15-foot range. That really seems to be where they're at. 12 to 20 feet deep seem to be where most of the fish are located at right now, hanging around that old bank line, especially down there by the dam. Can catch them on a spider jig as well. Had quite a few on a spider jig the other day. Was over there on Saturday and did really well with a spider jig alongside of the squirrel head. Okeechobee blue, still a good color, green pumpkin candy, and I'm matching that up with a speed craw as well. Basically fishing gravel points, gravel flats, gravel banks out to that 15-foot line. I will say you can catch a few flipping bushes. There are some fish coming out of bushes. But it's the type of thing, if you're fishing a tournament, say you're fishing the Web Outdoors Pro Series this weekend, you got to commit to it. You're going to get 5 or 6 bites. They will be better bites, but you got to commit to it. If you want to catch a lot of fish, you want to back off, hit that 15-foot range, 15, 20-foot deep, throw a squirrel head, throw a spider jig, that sort of thing's working. Are catching a few down there on the Kitech as well, the 2.8 and the 3.3, both of them in either sight flash or in sexy shad, fishing it on a jewel swim gem, 1/4 ounce head. Seemed like that bite really started to turn on the last couple of days with that water warming up, that clear water down there. You can catch a few doing that as well. Basically the same banks, same gravel banks, just back off a little bit further, hold your boat in 25 to 30 and cast over that 15 to 18 foot range. Let it sink down about a 3 to 5 count and just reel it back in slow. There are a lot of fish starting to suspend. A lot of the shad are starting to move towards the surface. Have been seeing a little bit of surface activity, but not enough that I'm going to tell you you can go out and catch them on a topwater right now. Not a lot of topwater bite going on. Come down here to Kimberling City. Water definitely has more stain, and it's kind of interesting. The upstream from the bridge is definitely dirtier than downstream from the bridge. From the bridge to about 0.5, it starts to clear up. You get about 6 inches to maybe 2 feet of visibility, especially the closer you get to 0.5, the clearer it gets. Get above the bridge, you've got about 6 inches of visibility to nothing at all. Turns into chocolate milk, turns coffee colored. So a lot more visibility going downstream from the bridge than there is upstream. Best bites down here, again, these fish have moved out to the old bank line. So they're 15, 18, 20 feet deep, seem to get deeper as the day goes on, as the sun gets higher, even in this dirty water. Catching a lot of them on a squirrel head, matching that up with a speed craw, matching that up with a UV beaver, matching it up with a UV finesse worm, and throwing it more or less parallel is how we're getting more bites. If you're throwing perpendicular to the bank, you're only in that strike zone for a short period. I've been basically holding my boat in about 20, 22 foot and throwing more or less parallel to the bank and working it along. Seem to get a lot more bites and catching a lot more fish doing that. Spider jig's working here as well, catching a lot of fish on the Jewel Pro spider jig. 5/16 has been the better weight. Don't ask me why. It's not like they're hitting it on the fall, but I have been getting a lot more bites on the Jewel Pro spider jig. 5/16, doing a little bit better with brighter colors here. The Table Rock Secret's been working really well. Missouri Craw's been working really well. Anything with a little bit of chartreuse, a little bit of orange in it, really makes a difference in this dirtier water. Not really doing well in this dirty water with the swim bait. Not at all. Haven't caught that many fish. Threw it a little bit today. Started to see fish suspended. Didn't really catch any. But we are catching them on a spinnerbait. Right now the wind's just starting to kick up. It's been dead slick calm all morning, but you get a little bit of wind. You don't need 20, 30 mile an hour winds. You get 10 to 15 mile an hour winds, and you start working that outer edge of those bushes, the deepest bushes you can see, and basically paralleling and throwing around in the shade of those bushes. You can catch them on a War Eagle spinnerbait right now. Doing well with coleslaw, doing well with chartreuse and white with gold blades, and doing well with mouse. Mouse is working even in this dirty water. Caught a few fish on that the other day down here in this dirtier water. Go up the James and you've got real dirty water up there. The debris is not as bad as it has been. It seems like a lot of that debris has been blown against the banks. We had some pretty high wind days over the weekend, and it really seemed to push a lot of that debris to the bank. Not saying there isn't any debris, but there's not a whole lot of debris. Launching up the James is kind of a challenge. Right now, Ants Creek is closed. I know the Corps is looking at opening that up by the weekend. And Cape Fair is closed because there's no access. The road leading into the marina and everything else is flooded. Lake comes down a little bit more. They should reopen Cape Fair. They should reopen Ants Creek by this weekend, but it is a challenge to find a place to launch up the James right now. But the best bites I've been finding, again, I'm fishing the old bank line. I'm fishing either a squirrel head with a UV beaver, a speed craw, or a UV finesse worm. I'm fishing the Jewel Pro spider jig up there as well. Again, 5/16 for some reason seems to be a little bit better size than the 7/16. It just doesn't fall quite as fast. I think that might have a lot to do with it. And those brighter colors, Table Rock Secret, Missouri Craw, matching it up with a speed craw, and definitely tipping the end of the speed craw with either chartreuse or orange to give it a little bit more color so they can see it in that dirty water. Spinnerbait bite up there has been really strong, especially on windy days. Again, hitting those outer edges, those shady outer edges on all the bushes that are out in the water. So spinnerbait, jig, shaky head, that sort of thing's definitely working up the James. Haven't really caught any on a square bill to speak of yet, or on a buzzbait to speak of yet. It really feels like that this water needs to warm up a little bit more, and it needs to stabilize. When they stop dropping it, I think we'll start to see them hitting that square bill a lot better like they did this time last year. And I also think we'll start to see them hitting a buzzbait and a topwater a lot better. It's just, as long as they're drawing it out of the bushes 6 inches a day, these fish are not going to move back into the shallows. I'm not saying you can't catch a few up there, especially on the outer bushes, but I would definitely not call that my primary pattern. Yeah, again, if you're fishing the tournament this weekend, looking for 5 big bites, I would flip bushes all day long and commit to it. And you're going to get 5 or 6 bites doing it, but they'll be the right bites. White River is dirty as well. Launching up the White River, you can launch at the Shell Knob Bridge, but you are launching from the upper parking lot. Parking's very limited. You can launch at Campbell Point, but it's extremely flat. If you're by yourself, bring a pair of boots, because you won't get your boat off the trailer until you're probably in ankle or knee deep water, stepping out of the truck. And I have heard that they do have portions of Big M open. Haven't been up there. Don't know if it's open or not. Same with Eagle Rock. Haven't been up there. Don't know if it's open or not. I would call either the Big M Marina or the Eagle Rock Marina before you head up that way to see if they have a ramp open up there as well. And then the watercolor up there is a little bit different. That's the only other area where you're going to find clear water on the lake right now is from about Big M on up towards Beaver. It's flushed all that dirty water out. They're still running a lot of water out of Beaver. They've got the gates shut, but they're running the turbines full blast all day long. So it is pushing that dirty water downstream. So you will find some real good visibility up there. Once you get below Big M, depending on how close you are to the Kings, you're looking at anywhere from 2 foot to 6 inches. And in some spots 6 inches is being generous. It's really dirty. There is a lot of debris in the Kings, so if you do go up the Kings, be careful. Just like always, all that stuff we always flip that's up on the bank, washed into the lake. It's working its way back in, but we get these calm nights and it allows it to float back out, especially with the current pulling them off the banks. As far as fishing up there, same sort of bites are going on up the White as they are everywhere else. Fish really seem to be keyed in on the old bank line. So you're looking at 15 to 20 feet deep. Squirrelhead's working really good with a speed craw, a UV beaver, or UV finesse worm. Pro spider jig's working really well. Table Rock Secret, again, really good color right now. Missouri craw, really good color, matching that up with a speed craw or J-tail for that matter. Tipping it with chartreuse, tipping it with orange, giving it a little bit of color. Spinnerbait's working great up there if you get some wind. The wind is really key, and around those bushes it's been really key. And then flipping bushes, it seems to be a little bit stronger up there as well. And again, it's not going to be the type of thing you want to take the kids out and do, because you're not going to put a bunch of fish in the boat doing it. You're going to get 5 or 6 bites a day. But again, those are going to be the right bites if you're fishing a tournament this weekend. If I was fishing the Webb's deal or any other tournament this weekend, I would be flipping bushes almost all day long and just planning on getting 5 bites. But they're going to be the right 5 bites. It seems like the better largemouth have moved into those bushes, and they're on the shady side of the bushes once the sun comes up. So hit those with a spider jig, hit those with a flipping jig, hit those with a Magnum casting jig, any of those jigs. Make sure you got a little bit of chartreuse, a little bit of orange on there, give it a little bit of color, make sure the fish can see it, and just work slow. You're going to catch fish doing that, and you'll learn which bushes to key on, because it seems like those ones that are the outermost bushes are the ones that are holding the better fish. The ones that are up tighter to the bank, not so much. Guys, it is first full week of May. Happy Mother's Day this coming Sunday to my mom and all the other moms out there. Fishing is great. We've been catching a lot of fish. I just finished a 4-hour trip here in Kimberling, and we had 28 fish in 4 hours, 6 keepers. Pretty good day. Catching a lot of fish, a lot of smallmouth, but we had some Kentuckys today, and we had one nice largemouth today. And fishing's good. Water's high, fishing's good. Getting on the water is a bit difficult. Here in Kimberling, basically you've got Mill Creek. Down by the dam, you've got State Park, and that's really about the only ramps that are open. But we're getting on the water, we're catching fish. So fishing's good, catching a lot of fish. If you guys are thinking about coming down, never fish the lake when it's this high, it's a great time to come down and fish. It's a really good time. May is pretty well booked up. I do want to mention, guys, if you're thinking about booking a guide and you're making a trip, try not to do it last minute. I've been turning away a lot of guys lately because they're waiting until they get in town to make a phone call. If you're making a trip, give me a call early, especially this time of year. We get into June and it's going to be 7 day a week, and I'll be booked every day. So if you guys are thinking about coming down, or if you're coming down, get me booked as soon as possible if you want to go out with me. It's about the only way I'm going to get you out for the next 2 months is if you book far in advance. But give me a call. If you're thinking about hiring a guide, get a hold of me. It's Focus Fishing Guide Service. You can reach me at 417-860-4743. Hit my website, focusfishing.com. You'll see my calendar on there if you book online. That's accurate. It is. I do it through my phone, so it is accurate as it comes up, or at what it shows is what I've got booked at this moment. So get a hold of me, either shoot me an email or book online. Let's get out there, let's catch some fish. It's a good time. We're catching a lot of fish right now, so I definitely look at coming down and booking a trip. Thanks for watching the videos. Thanks for subscribing to the videos. If you haven't subscribed, take a couple minutes. We're getting pretty close to 2,000. Not that that means anything, but it'd be a nice little milestone to go over. But take a second to subscribe if you haven't already. It'll get you a notification when the new video comes out. But really appreciate you guys watching. Can't wait to hear from you. We'll see you on the water.